The Subaru WRX is an all-wheel drive sport compact car manufactured by the Japanese automaker Subaru, originally based on the Impreza created for the World Rally Championship in 1992. Subaru claimed the name WRX stands for World Rally Experimental. Since 2014, the WRX lineup has been split from the Impreza, with a different body style that is not offered as an optional hatchback wagon. The first three generations of the WRX, sold until the 2015 model year, were based on standard Impreza platforms. The initial first-generation WRX models were based on the Impreza sedan, GC chassis code. They were followed by wagons, GF, in 1993 and the first upgraded WRX STI version, introduced in 1994. Several limited edition first-generation coupes were offered in the late 1990s and early 2000s which were never sold in the US and are highly sought after by Subaru enthusiasts. The second-generation WRX, GD, GG chassis codes for the sedan, wagon, respectively, was brought over to the United States domestic market for model year 2002, with the STI being brought over for model year 2004. The initial bug-eye front-end styling, 2000, was superseded by the Blowbay in 2004 and the Hawkeye in 2006. Under an agreement between Fuji Heavy Industries and General Motors, Saab sold its own version of the WRX, marketed as the Saab 922X, for the 2005 and 2006 model years. The 922X was available in both a standard and performance package, with the latter badged as the 922X Aero. The Aero was nearly identical to the second-generation WRX wagon, mechanically. The third-generation WRX were sold as chassis codes GE, sedan, and GH, hatchback, replacing the earlier wagon version. Initially, the third-generation WRX STI was sold with a widened chassis and was available only as a wide-body hatch, GR. For the 2011 model year, the third-generation WRX sedan and hatch were moved to the GV and GR wide-body chassis variants, respectively, and a wide-body sedan version of the STI, GV, was marketed. The Impreza was redesigned and the fourth generation was first marketed for model year 2012, making it a distinct model from the WRX, which continued on the third-generation GV, GR chassis until 2014 in most markets. The fourth-generation WRX were given the VA chassis designation and marketed as a separate model from the Impreza starting in 2015. For the VA series WRX released in 2014 for the 2015 model year, Subaru decided to move away from marketing the WRX and WRX STI under the Impreza name. This time, the Impreza name was dropped in all markets in which the new model is named simply as the WRX, as had been the case in North America with the previous model, while in Japan it was sold as the WRX S4. The WRX and WRX STI are the performance model based on the GJ, GP Impreza with higher output engines, firmer suspension, larger brakes, slightly resculpted body panels, lowered ride height and larger intakes. The body design also took a stronger departure from the Impreza donor model than in the past. The general WRX profile, silhouette was carried over from the Impreza, as were the front doors, trunk lid, and interior. However, the entire front-end bodywork plus the rear quarter panels were unique to the WRX. The rear doors received a subtle reskin with an upwards kink and revised character line, but retained an otherwise identical shape. Subaru had promised to completely move the WRX and STI off the Impreza chassis and body to create a standalone model. The VA body WRX is based on a modified Impreza body and chassis, with the Impreza name dropped from the WRX in all markets. For this generation, Subaru decided to not produce a WRX or WRX STI hatchback as had been previously offered. The previous generation hatchback made up approximately 50% of US WRX and WRX STI sales. This model is the first of the WRX line to deviate from the EJ series engine. It uses the new 2.0-liter FA20F engine, which has direct injection and a twin-scroll turbocharger. On all previous WRXs, the turbocharger was located near the right-hand side of the firewall, close to the third cylinder. With the new FA20F engine, Subaru fitted the turbocharger at the front of the car, close to the serpentine accessory belts. There is a robust aluminum skid plate that protects the underside of the turbocharger. Mounting the turbo lower in the engine bay helps reduce the car's center of gravity to 19.5 in 500 mm. The FA20's high compression ratio of 10.6. 1 combined with its 68 degrees intake and 54 degrees exhaust cam phasing range allow it to produce excellent off-boost efficiency as well as a wide torque peak. A 6-speed TY75 manual transmission is standard on the WRX, up from 5 speeds. It is also available with a Lineartronic TR690 CVT with 6 or 8 simulated gears, accessible through paddle shifters on the steering wheel. The Japanese spec WRX S4 is only available with the CVT. Behind the wheel, the most noticeable difference between the EJ and FA engines is the latter's broader torque curve. The 2.5-liter EJ produced a maximum of 240 pound-feet, 325 Nm, at 4,000 revolutions per minute, while the new 2.0-liter FA peaks twice as soon, 258 pound-feet, 350 Nm, at 2,000 revolutions per minute. Less obvious is a 3 horsepower, 2.2 kilowatts, increase over the old engine. The FA is rated at 268 horsepower, 200 kilowatts, at 5,600 revolutions per minute for international models. The FA20F engine in the Japanese spec WRX is rated at 295 horsepower, 220 kilowatts.